Hey everybody, Tom here with Hidden Beats, and today we're talking with Mattmac. How are you doing, sir?
Hey, thank you for having me. I'm good.
Yeah, for sure. I was excited to get the chat with you because we never really got a chance to chat last time we were together.
Yeah, we like I said previously, I think we had like a quick chat, but it's good to actually have a sit down and actually talk.
hmm So we're here today to talk about you, about your music, and about what you do in the world. But for those who are new, can you give a little intro about yourself?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, basically, I'm a recording artist who is also self-produced. I make beats. I record, engineer, mix. Yeah, I do it a lot, and then performing artist as well. So yeah.
Jack of all trades.
Mhm.
So, I mean, first question is, what really got you started on the musical journey?
I mean, music's been all around me for like I'd say the for the better half of my life, I'd say. Um, I remember growing up, mama playing music. I remember hearing mom gospel music from mom, and I hear the rock and the rap music from my brothers and sisters, and yeah, that's kind of basically how it was. And I was very intrigued by a lot of the sounds, and I was like, "Yo, I want to make those kind of sounds too." And I think, I was like very intrigued, and I was very drawn into it. So,
hmm Do you remember like the first album that you heard that shook you, that made you go, "Oh damn, this is what I want to do"?
I actually do, funny enough, and I'm like, and it's crazy because I still remember. And it's crazy. I was like bumping the album this past weekend. It was like "The Energy Never Dies" by the Black Eyed Peas. It's the
Okay.
END.
Yeah.
It was like released. I think it was back in 2008, 2009. So yeah, back when I was like childhood Matthew, you know. So
Mhm.
like, so like, when I heard it, I remember I had my mama bought the CD, and I was so amazed by the different sounds and the different like I don't know. I was like very amazed by the production because I don't know, like I always felt like that that time was a different time for I don't know, Black Eyed Peas in general. It's just like that time was their production was wild back then. That's cool.
Yeah, Will I Am put some fun stuff into what he did back then.
Yeah, that's true. The
Mhm.
whole entire like be bigger.
Yeah. So overall, who do you think has influenced your sound the most out of, musicians that you listen to?
Yeah, in terms of like the people who who had a lot of influence in my music, I listen to a lot of I listen to like a lot of what's out there right now. It's what's current on honestly. Like I want to make sure that I'm like I want to stay current. I want to stay like up to date. I like just to make sure. But throughout all the years, I'd say the person who has really influenced my music and has impacted my music a lot is, the great Juice World. I feel like you can kind of hear it in the vocals, and even in the beats, like
hmm
yeah,
Yeah, he had a profound impact on a lot of people for sure.
yeah, he did.
hmm So what do you think of the music scene right now? How has the music scene evolved from your experiences?
Well, it's definitely involving right now. I mean, we're at an interesting time because we're in an age of AI.
hmm
And I like to think of it like it's almost, it's almost kind of comparable to like, back when, this is like right before my time, like right before I was just a baby, but it was like the whole entire like thing of Napster.
Yep.
And I remember like people kind of like worried, and like when it's kind of like that, and it's like, and we're in the age of AI, and you have musicians like worried, you have like all these things going on. But yeah, I just really think that we're in interesting times in terms of music, and yeah, there's a lot of innovation going on. There's a lot of different things. There's like a lot of things going on in this space.
Yeah. Now you're an Indigenous creator. What do you think the state of the Indigenous music community is going on right now?
Yeah, in terms of indigenous the music, there's a lot of people like there's a lot of people like popping up from, the reserves, the res kids are like they are finally starting to see that, oh wow, like I can actually do some of my art and and I can actually do something like worthwhile instead of having to be bored on a reserve and just to let like a whole system dictate their life.
And people are listening to it now too. It's more accessible for everyone.
It is, like with the whole entire like online space and you know it's never been more easier to like search for music, but also it's also like a very competitive space as well. So
Hmm. So what do you think it takes to stand out now with how competitive things are?
yeah, I mean, you just gotta be in terms of like in terms of like being like like you just have to like in terms of like standing out, you have to have a story, like gotta make sure that you have an energy that people gravitate to and just the vibe, I feel like.
Yeah,
And
like be genuine with your stuff.
yeah, for real, just be real.
Hmm. So you have new music that's just dropped recently with Imposters. Can you tell me the story behind that one?
Yeah, so it's basically just talking about you know, a lot of people who talk too much online just needs to like um there's a lot of people who talk a lot online and honestly like uh and they're not really getting the whole entire picture, I feel like.
Hmm.
And my verse was talking about like I'm like making music and I feel like just just the whole entire like online space doesn't really see the whole entire picture.
Yeah.
Some like they be watching, let's say they be plotting, they be talking too much, and like we've like I'm coming out with a new album, and you know like something about Mattmac being a trending topic, and just having that whole entire thing. Um, that's just like also having that whole entire thing, but also like talking about that whole entire thing, you know, people talking too much, but also, just like it's kind of like a way to be like, okay, maybe we're getting too caught up in the moment. I think people are just talking too much. Realistically, I just want to see my people on the top, and if people had like not focused on like a whole bunch of um, and if they like don't focus on like the everyday slowdowns of like the life. They could
Hmm.
be like literally just hitting their goals if they want to.
Yeah, for sure. Now you're a big person who likes to have a lot of collaborations and kind of and bring your people with you. You said see them on top. So how important is it to find those people with like-minded styles like yourself?
Yeah, I mean, I'm about collaboration. I like to collaborate with people, whether that be on the music, yeah, the videos that I drop, or like the live performances, type deals. Uh, but like I just, you know, like just being able to collab and just to really have that connection is absolutely it's fire. It's it's
Mm.
cool because like whether it be in a studio or like on in the online space, there's like an energy that happens. I feel like it's just like really good times that usually happens through collaboration. You kind of just have something to take away.
Yeah, and you build off of that too, so you can bounce back off
Facts,
each other and have a good time.
facts.
Hmm. So, how do you think your music has evolved going back to the release of Paradise in 2020 to coming into now?
Yeah. In terms of like the music, in terms of like what I want to talk about, I feel like I feel like I'm more open and more honest in terms of like what I want to talk about. There's more confidence in terms of like what I want to say in my music. And not only that, but there's also like more confidence in the vocal delivery, in like the vocal takes that you hear. I feel like, going back from, when I first started to release of Paradise, release of the going back to 2020, and some of the songs I released around that time period, I feel like there's definitely a lot more confidence. There's definitely a lot more to say, and you know definitely live through a lot more experiences, and you know I just I feel like the more experiences you have, the more you have to say, and the more you have to take away, and the more you have to build off of that for sure.
Yeah, and it's that growth that makes you genuine and connects with people in your music.
Yeah, true, true, true.
Hmm. So outside of music, because music can be crazy sometimes, what do you do to stay grounded?
In terms of what I do to stay grounded, you know, I'm a very, I'm a very like, very close with my family.
Hmm.
So like, I am very close with like my nieces and nephews, and I also like hang out, like, I got, like I be hanging out with my girl too, and she's like a vibe.
There you go.
And honestly, like, just making sure that I keep the people around me, and that they keep me grounded, and I'm just like, and it's like it's crazy because life can get crazy. Sometimes you just have to like sit back and let the people who around you take care of you.
Hmm. Does your family keep you in check if they think your head's getting too big?
I'd like to think so. I'd like to think so. But I definitely know the family, and everybody around me definitely like is definitely very supportive, and I just just love to show the support always.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. Now you're a fan of music and you've been listening to music kind of your whole life. I'm curious,
Yeah,
what's one thing you think should be asked more in an interview that's not asked enough?
that is a really good question. I'm gonna have to think about that one for a second.
Hmm.
Well, in terms of in terms of what should be asked more, versus you have like the usual who inspires you, and like who is like who inspires your music.
Hmm.
Um, you know, I'm not sure. If anything, like I always like the where do you I always like feel I always feel like the where do you see yourself in so and so years or so and so months. I always feel like that's a really good one because it always like allows me to think about it because and the career is it's good. It's like it's like there's a lot happening, but you also kind of forget to like set more goals, long-term goals, and
Hmm.
like you almost have to like think about it for like a second. Yeah, so that's like my answer. Where do you see in so and so years and so months is I feel like the question should be asked
Yeah.
in interviews and stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah, I call that a milestone question because you
Yeah.
you pick your spots that you want to try to achieve your next ones.
Yeah, true. The milestone question.
Yeah, so what's your milestones? What are your next couple you're trying to achieve?
Yeah, in terms of the milestones, I'm just, gonna work on some more music, hopefully, you know, it's good. Like I always say, like Winnipeg is a really, really good start. I'm based out of Winnipeg right now, but you know, I always like to travel, so just like my thing is to perform bigger shows, bigger stadiums, bigger crowds.
Hmm.
So,
Do you have a dream
it's
event you want to hit? Like a festival, something that you want to perform at?
a festival that I want to perform at. Hmm, I don't know. I don't know. That's a really good question. It's either have to be like Rolling Loud, or it'll either have to be that's a really good one. It'll either have to be Rolling Loud, or there's this other one, Ultra Fest, which is an
Okay.
EDM festival in Miami.
Yeah, Rolling Loud, we finally had one come to Canada like 2 years ago now, so
Yeah,
we're hopefully going to get another one. I think next year is the plan.
yeah,
So that'll be fun for sure. Yeah, I could see you
hopefully.
opening up Rolling Loud and getting the stage ready.
For sure. Gotta hype up the crowd.
Yeah, man. Now, what's something on your go-to playlist that people wouldn't expect that you listen to?
what's something on my go-to playlist?
Like
I
that guilty
mean,
pleasure song that people like you someone hears you listening to that, they're like, "Man, you listen to this?"
that's a really good. I mean, my thing is, I love throwback. Like anything like between 2005 and 2000, like anything that was on the radio, top 40 radio, in between 2005 and 2012, I'd have to say.
Hmm.
It's like the jams, you know?
Yeah, those classic jams get you right in that mood for sure.
Yeah, for real, like Sean Desmond was on around that time.
Hmm.
We got like a whole bunch of other artists, a whole bunch of like fire Canadian artists around that time.
Yeah, Sean Desmond was just in Winnipeg not too long ago.
He was.
Yeah, I had one of my guys out there. He covered the show live.
Hey, that's super dope.
Hmm. Now you're a hip hop fan. Who's your Mount Rushmore? Who's your top four?
Hmm. I mean, there's a lot, man. There's
It's never going to be the same as anyone
it's
else's because it's
it's
all you.
it's, it's never gonna be the same, man. Um, well, I just like my thing is it would either have to be like that's a really
You
good
can think out of the
question.
box too. If you got someone that deserves to be on your top tier.
Yeah, for real. That's a really good question. That's a tough one. I mean, honestly, like I always think about it from time is I always think about it from time to time. Like, who am I like really, um, like looking up to? Like, who's that number one? Like, I always think about that,
Well, you got Juice
and
WRLD, you said is one of your influence.
definitely for sure.
Do you go to any
Um,
throwbacks? Like you got Tupac, Biggie on there, any of those guys?
yeah. I'd say I'm gonna have to say um. I'm gonna have to like say Biggie Smalls because like his energy. I feel like Tupac too. Like the way how they were like they had an energy to them back when, and
Hmm.
also like another thing was another one who like innovated hip hop too. Like I feel like Dr. Dre don't get a lot of credit because he's like the producer behind a lot of these rappers who we know,
Hmm.
and I feel like you know I just watched the movie on Dre not too long ago, and Dr. Dre, and that was wild, and it was just like just to see like the struggles, the whole things that he had to get through just to be where he's at now.
Yeah, there's some
And
crazy stories coming out of that.
yeah, for real. And a lot of the times the producers don't really get their shine. So, I always say like, yeah, the the greats,
Hmm.
it's always good to pay homage to, Tupac or Biggie Smalls or like, but I was just like, look up just the producers who innovated that sound.
Yeah, and you look at people like nowadays, like Timbaland, who's doing a lot of stuff out there, putting together some crazy tracks.
Yeah, that's so true.
Hmm.
And we have all these producers who are continuing to elevate the sound, and we have like you know artists who are continuing to elevate the sound as well. And it's again, it's a collaborative process that I believe because I have a hand in both. So I'm just like you know
Yeah, you have an interesting take on everything.
hmm
So, a really important question: what do you hope people take away from your music?
yeah you know it's not really that hard to tell in terms of if you like took one look at me, it's like this guy doesn't really have a lot to look at, but um there's way more to you know what meets the eye because you know um I just like to say um you know, I just like I'm I'm saying like I'm making music and just living an artist life, and it's crazy because I'm doing with like like visually impaired, and I deal with some of these visual impairments and these issues from time to time, but I'm still here and I'm still doing it, and that doesn't that doesn't you know hopefully what I want people to take away from the songs and this whole entire story is that whatever whatever barriers that they're facing, I'm pretty sure that they can get to where they want to be, whether that's music or whether that's being the exact office, or like having the nice clothes or whatever, like just or being really good at something.
Man, I don't think you have barriers. I think I see you all over the place. You're always doing your thing.
Hmm.
You've taken those barriers and made them positive things for you.
Yeah, appreciate you.
Mm. Now, my last question, I think, is probably the best one to ask anyone is, are you happy?
I'm vibing. I'm I'm just chilling out right now. I'm
Mm.
super excited about to drop a new album. And new album season. So like I'm super stoked for that right now. So
Yeah, I'm looking forward to checking it out. I've already got you on my favorites list, so I can keep an eye on music when you drop it.
let's go.
So what's you got the album dropping? Is there anything else coming up this summer for you? Any fun shows you're playing?
Just a couple of on a little festival circuit this summer. So gonna be playing a couple of festivals with a couple of there's a couple of cool artists that I'm gonna be playing with on the same bill. So tune into the socials and keep up with that, and yeah.
All right, man. That's all the fun stuff I have written down here. Is there any final words of wisdom you want to leave to people?
Um, I mean, I'm just gonna have to say, whether it be like, uh, I'm just have to say whether it be like, a bit of struggle, a bit of time, just, or like something that is a bit, a bit weird, or you're feeling unsure, or like if the process seems a bit too long, just give yourself a lot of time and patience, because those two things could go a long way.
Mhm.
And then I could, and and I could testify to that.
For sure, man. I hear that. Well, that's like I said, that's all I got. It was great to actually get to sit down with you finally and have an actual conversation instead of just walking by and saying hey to each other.
Yeah, for real. I appreciate you for having me.
Yeah, 100%. And definitely we can do this again whenever you want. We can talk about your new album when it comes out, and I'm here anytime you want to chat about something.
All right, cool.
All right, brother. I'll cut it off now and you enjoy the rest of your day.
All right, man. You too.
All right, see you later.
Take care.